Bless. Back again. That's what's up. Yeah. Jay White. This one is not so much business, but it is definitely about music. Again, I'm speaking to the rappers on this one. You know, that's the world that I know most. I make music of all sorts, but for the most part, I'm grounded in rap music. So I want to talk to rappers who buy beats online, buy beats from producers that, beat makers that they're not directly connected with. They scroll a BeatStars page or go through YouTube and look for beats, and they hear something, they like it, the download link is there. The person says, hey, I want to sell this beat for $300 or, whatever the cost is, Now, I want to explain something very important to you. When you're buying beats, whether you're buying them offline or buying them from somebody, that you met in the club or wherever, shaking around, when you buy beats, I'm talking about exclusive beats. When you buy the exclusive rights to a beat, that is that you actually own that beat. Of course, there's probably some publishing left for the person who made the beat, but you are in control of the beat's destiny. Like, you can record whatever song you want to put on it, and you release it and distribute and sell however many copies that you are able to do. That's exclusive rights. Now, when you're buying exclusive rights from beat makers, usually off the internet, here's what you want to make sure of. You want to make sure that you get the tracked out version of the beat. And there are a few reasons for that. The first reason is because, man, listen, there are crooks out there, snakes in that grass, man. A lot of people are downloading beats, right? And then going to sell them, because the internet is just it's like the universe, man, damn near. It's like just so much space and so many cracks that you can hide in. Like, you can download a beat from somebody, some obscure beat maker in France who made just some wicked track, and you downloaded it, and then you took it, you're pretty much marketing on the United States circuit, or, just any circuit, because you're just so far removed from that person. But there are people who are doing that, right? So you're paying somebody $350 for a beat, and you may or may not know that they actually downloaded that beat from somewhere else and sold it to you, unless they have the tracked out versions. Now, some cats can actually lease a beat with the tracked out stems, meaning everything is separated, such as, actually we're gonna do something about that, about track outs and stuff. That's more of a, beginners type of thing. So probably people who are here watching Soundzie TV, you're versed in things like tracked out pieces of the song. So I don't know if that one's gonna be, but anyway, it may. So anyway, when there are people who can buy beat leases, like that is, a lease is where you get the beat for a certain amount of time, or you can only sell a limited number of copies. The beat maker can sell that beat or lease that beat to whoever else he wants to, he or she wants to, and you don't have a claim against that. Whereas with the exclusive, you're the only one. Once you buy that beat, it's supposed to be taken off the market. Now, that is definitely another topic that we're going to talk about. And once I do that, I'm going to circle back and put the link to it up here, or maybe it's up here, I don't know. Anyway, let me get back to it. The tracked out versions is what you want, right? It's still not 100% sure, but hopefully you're dealing with somebody, that is that is a scrupulous individual, that they're not selling the beat over and over, or going downloading or leasing from somebody and trying to sell who they lease a beat that they don't even have the right to sell to you for $350 or whatever, and then sell for other people as well. So anyway, when you're buying the exclusive rights to an instrumental, a beat, a hip hop instrumental, or singers too, you want to make sure that you have the tracked out version of it, because that is indicative that the person made that particular beat. Now, what will even be better is if, let's say you use Pro Tools and they use Pro Tools, or let's say you use Fruity Loops, FL Studio, which more than likely that's where the beat is made from. If they were able to give you the effects files too. Like whether or not you have those plugins or not, if they're able to give you the whole entire FL Studio project, or if they made it in Pro Tools, the Pro Tools project, or Logic, etc., whatever DAW that they made it in, if they're able to give you that project file with the beat that you bought, with the exclusive rights to that beat, now you could pretty much rest assured at that point, you know what I'm saying? Unless they broke into somebody's studio and downloaded somebody's, you know, their work, you know what I mean? Which, you know, sure it happens, but remote chance of that. If you get that, you know you got it. And matter of fact, that's something that you should actually ask for. When you're forking over some money, $350, $500, $600, I even bought beats, you know, high as $1,000. You know, I've been went beyond that range right there. But when you're spending that kind of money, you should also dictate some terms. Like they usually have their terms. You should also dictate some terms. Like a lot of times they want you to make the song title with prod by whoever they are. You know, like, yo, you're not producing my song. Now I spoke on my actual YouTube, on my actual Instagram and such, when is a beat maker just a beat maker and not a producer? You're giving up credit to people who did not produce your song when you actually produced it, but you just got a beat from somebody. But anyway, a lot of times in those contracts, those beat makers will say, it has to say prod by Flyways or whatever. You should negotiate that away. Like, no, because I'm actually going to be producing the song. Like, I'm just buying the music part from you. I'm going to actually arrange it and produce the song. I'm going to bring the song to fruition, you know. So, no, I can't put prod by, you know. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be like, all right, cool, just make sure you listen to me the production credit, of course. Now, well, not production, but the instrumental credit. Now, I would start negotiating, hey, I want the actual project file. Like, it's not enough for you to just give me the tracked out versions, but I want the actual project file. Not because I don't believe that you made it, because that's some, you know, that's one reason, you know, I want to be sure, but just because maybe I want to go in and master a different way or make the beat sound a little different. Like, I want to be able to do that. Or let's say I want to make a live show set, you know, and I want to come from that. So that's one reason, you know. I went into depth about that enough, why you should be getting the tracked out versions. Now, I kind of bridged what I just said into what I'm going to say now. When you also get the track outs, you're able to just make such a better mix, a cleaner mix. Like, let's say you just get the 2-track version of the beat, you know? That is, you can't adjust the kick, the snare, the synth. You can't adjust any of that. You know, you just stuck with the 2-track version of the song. So it's just room for you. The track is just the track, and then of course your vocals that you lay down on that. Now, when you get the tracked out version of the beat, you can actually, you know, let's say for space sake, you can actually record to the 2-track just to get all your vocals and stuff recorded and arranged and tweaked how you like them for the most part. But then what you can do, and what I like to do, I like to take out the 2-track and then bring all the vocal stuff that I just did and bring the tracked out version of the beat, you know, and then I have every single component of the song on a separate track. My verse, my ad-libs, my singing underneath, my this or that little vocal stabs or whatever, and I also have the kick, the bass line, the synth, the hi-hats, the cymbal, you know, so maybe the cymbal when it clashes is actually interfering with the intelligibility of one of the words that I'm saying on part of my verse, right? And it's just not working whatever I do to my vocal to mix it into, you know, a prominent standing or where it should be or where it's intelligible. I can actually maybe shave off a little bit of the hi-hat or whatever the component was in the actual instrument of the song, of the beat, to go away from what I got from what I got vocally. So if they clash and if the vocal is more important, I can actually turn this down a little bit. So that's why it's important to have the component, the tracked out version of the song. And another reason is if you're a far-thinking individual, you know, like myself, you know. And by the way, if there's any other reasons that you should have the tracked out version that I haven't went over and that I'm not going to go over, then, you know, drop your comment down there and we can, you know, all benefit from your knowledge. Check it out. If you're a forward-thinking individual, and let's just say your song becomes a classic, right? Your song just becomes an iconic song of your genre or just of music in general. Let's just say that snare makes it just like, that snare is just something that people have talked about for the past 15 years. What if you don't have that particular snare? Like, what if you can't go and isolate that snare? You know, what if a commercial or some type of, you know, some type of endeavor comes along and wants to implement a component of your song that has to be isolated in order for that to be done, and you're not able to do it, you know, and it's a big payday. Or if it's just something that, you know, because everything isn't about pay, but what if it's just something like just so iconic and so meaning that not only do you get compensated for it monetarily, but you also get compensated in, you know, social capital, so to speak, you know, just being part of something, you know. So you want to have all the components of your song on an individual level, track out, all right? And also too, the way music is going, there's just so many things that, you know, NFTs, like what if somebody wants to NFT your bass line or something like that? You know, it's just, the possibilities are, you know, almost endless, and we just can't imagine what the future of music consumption is going to come to, and how it's going to fraction off into, you know, more granular type of thing. So anyway, that's that. You're buying the beats, make sure you get the tracked out version. And if you checked out my other video, make sure you get their name too, like their actual first and last name and their publishing number, their IPI number. There will be a BMI with ASCAP, they should have a number. And when you are actually going to file your song with publishing, you're gonna do that, right? Okay. You know, you wanna be able to list everybody as a, you know, who's contributing to your song. You wanna make sure everybody is listed on there, so that everyone can get paid when the big check starts rolling in, and everybody got to get their stacks and their racks and all that. You know, you want the money to automatically be able to go to them. Like, why should you have to put stress on yourself to get the check and calculate, and, you know what I mean, and maybe your manager or whoever, you know, pay the accountant, you know what I'm saying? It's already done for you when you have it all in a row. So check that video out. It's either there or there, one of those places. Is it here or is it there? I don't know. So anyway, Jay White, if you dug this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the channel because we got more coming. Soundzie TV, baby.